Hopefully you've seen the documentary The Social Dilemma on Netflix by now. This documentary will inspire you to reduce your social media time. It might even inspire you to delete social media apps. That's how powerful the documentary is, so definitely check it out. I will now share 5 tips that were shared in the documentary that will help you to curb phone addiction, that will help you to reduce your social media use and your phone use. So the first one is simple: disable notifications. You have all these apps. If all those notifications are enabled, there is no peace. Every single minute there will be a notification, and then you will just live a reactive life where you are not in control. There's zero control. So take ownership, disable notifications. Take ownership of your time and energy and focus, and disable the notifications. If you have social media apps, disable those notifications. Game app, disable those notifications. News apps, disable notifications. Email apps, disable notifications. IM apps, I know that's a challenging one, right? WhatsApp, Viber, Messenger. I can imagine if you want to have them enabled, but when they are enabled, disable the social media notifications. Highly important, so check. Of 85% till 90% of the notifications on your phone have to be disabled. So of all the apps, 95% of those apps should not be able to push notifications. The second tip that was shared, also a simple one, hard to execute. Delete social media apps. That's it. Delete those apps. Use the browser version, use the laptop version, but delete those social media apps. If you cannot delete all of them, delete just one social media app. You do not really need 5, 6 social media apps. So ask yourself, how are you using those apps? Is the intention the same? Is the purpose the same? If you're engaging with friends on all those apps, if that's the purpose, then just remove, delete 1 or 2, and then engage with people on those social media apps that are most important. So at least delete 1 or 2 social media apps. The third one is an interesting one. They mentioned to use a different search engine, a search engine that doesn't care who you are or what you're doing. So the search engine that was mentioned in the documentary is Quant. They focus on privacy and neutrality. So they will offer neutral content. They don't care who you are. They don't care what your hidden intention might be. They're not going to try to predict what you're trying to do with the content. No, they will just offer you neutral content. And since they don't care who you are, you cannot be manipulated. So that's why they say try a different search engine, and the one that was mentioned was Quant. Another tip, let's just use Quant. Fact check what you're reading. Don't believe everything that you read online. Double check if other websites also mention what you've been reading. Is it true? Check, check, check. You can use Quant, you can use DuckDuckGo, that's another search engine that doesn't care about privacy, or even Google. But don't believe everything you read, don't believe everything you say. Just because a bunch of people say that, don't believe that that's true. Check if that's really true. Don't now think that's true because a website is posting that information. We can all create a website in 5 minutes. We can all post content, all of us, in 5 minutes. So if you know that everyone has access to the internet, and everyone now with WordPress, Wix, we can all create a website, a blog, and we can post content, then double check if what you're reading is true. Do other credible news sites mention those same facts that you've been reading? Or could it be fake news? With the pandemic, with the corona, there's so much fake news out there. So much fake news, and it's just, there's zero truth to be found in those statements that are made. So double check, double check, double check. Even with deep fakes, where they put up people's faces on other people, you see, it becomes hard to find the truth, to find out if something true or not. So be very sharp, fact check by using the search engine. Doesn't matter which one, but to go back to the previous one, Quant or DuckDuckGo again. Last one, also an interesting one, is to follow people you disagree with. So as you probably know, if you follow people who just mention A, then the content that you will see is A. So every time it will be reinforced and reinforced and reinforced. And every time you're on social media, you will say A is the truth, A is the truth, A is the truth. And then when you meet someone who thinks B, then you think, how the hell do you think B is the truth? aren't you seeing the same thing I'm seeing? Like, how is it possible? You are so wrong. And why? Because you're exposing yourself all the time to A. You're in that echo chamber, in that filter bubble, right? You only see the content that you've been following, and then it will feed you more of that content. And also content that will tell you that B is wrong, that A is right. And that's why I like this last tip. When they shared it in a documentary, I loved it, that you want to follow people, news outlets or whoever who you may disagree with. Doesn't mean that they're right, that they're always right, but it just teaches you to be more open-minded, not to be so narrow-minded. Just because a lot of people say A, and just because you see A, and just because you see that B is wrong, doesn't mean that A is always the truth. So learn to figure out what the truth is to you. Expose yourself to different sides of the story. Don't just believe in one side. Be more open-minded. Be more empathetic. At least learn to expose yourself to the flip side of the story. And then you can tell yourself, no, I still disagree. I respect their viewpoint, but I still disagree with what they're saying. But at least you've exposed yourself to the other side. You've been open-minded. You are open-minded now. So now you can better discuss the subject because you know both sides. So I like this last point. Follow people you disagree with so you don't always see A. You don't stay in this very small world where your beliefs are simply reinforced constantly. Very good documentary. There are many other tips that are shared in this documentary. The Social Dilemma on Netflix. Check it out. Created by Tristan Harris. He is one you want to follow as well. So, Social Dilemma on Netflix. Don't wait. Check it out and be inspired. And let me know if you have deleted social media because of it.